Hey guys, I'm Justin with AmericanMuscle.com here with my detailed review of the Bushwacker Max Coverage Pocket Flare Set, available for your 2015 and up F-150. And one of the nice things about the Bushwacker Flare Set is that there is absolutely no cutting or no drilling needed to get these things installed. So even though there is a few steps here, I'm still willing to give these a 1 out of 3 on my overall scale of difficulty, and we will talk a little bit more about the install later on. So you should be checking out the Max Coverage Bushwacker Flare Set for your new F-150 if you're after a super aggressive style or appearance and want to go with one of the biggest flares currently available. By doing so, you're also getting some additional benefits in the form of protection for your paint, especially if you have a set of wider aftermarket wheels and tires installed that would otherwise throw a whole bunch of mud, dirt, water, snow, whatever onto your paint without the flares installed. So Bushwacker is definitely one of the leaders in producing aftermarket flares for a wide variety of applications, but with a focus on the truck and Jeep aftermarket. Now their lineup is actually pretty vast, and they offer everything from a stock or OE styled fender flare all the way down to the crazy and over-the-top fender flares like we have here today, and everything in between. So the Max Coverage Pocket Style Flare from Bushwacker is a relatively new addition to the Bushwacker lineup and is actually coming on the heels of Bushwacker's very popular basic pocket style flare system. Now what happened was the aftermarket was clamoring for something a little bit more gnarly, and Bushwacker delivered here with their Max Coverage Flare Set. By adding the Max Coverage flares here from Bushwacker, you're going to be adding 2 3/4 inches of additional coverage from the body line for the front and about 2 1/4 inches for the rear. Now this is just going to allow you to run some pretty crazy offsets here with your F-150 without having them look totally out of place. And by adding that extra coverage, you're also going to be adding some extra protection for your paint, as we already talked about, for those wider low offset wheels. And you're also just going to be getting a super aggressive and tough and wide stance, which really should appeal to just about anyone. Switching gears and talking about the construction a little bit here with the Max Coverage flares, you're going to be finding a Dura-Flex 2000 material, something that Bushwacker uses with a lot of their fender flares. And this is essentially just an ABS plastic compound that can take a beating and keep coming back for more. This is nice to know if you do take your truck off-roading once in a while, maybe you like to ride the trails or hit some mud pits, you're really not going to have to worry about these things cracking or getting beat up. That Dura-Flex 2000 material is finished off in the standard matte black here, as you can see, and that's topped off with a UV resistant coating, which is just going to help prevent these things from fading over the years. Now, even though these things look killer in matte black, in my personal opinion, if you're not a big fan of that really big contrast, if you're installing these things on a lighter colored truck, you can totally paint the Max Coverage Pocket Flares here, and it should provide a more factory style appearance. Sticking with the appearance a little bit more here, guys, with the Bushwacker flares, they do toss in the fake hardware, or faux rivets if you want to call them that, just to add a slightly tougher look to the actual flares. Some of you guys might be into that, maybe some others not so much. If you want an aggressive fender flare and you want a lot of coverage but you don't want the fake hardware, both Lund and Bushwacker offer sets here on the site, which should fit the bill. And speaking of bills, the Bushwacker Max Coverage Pocket Flare Set will set you back roughly $5 for the complete set of 4 here. Just a heads up, guys, you can buy just the fronts or the rears if you ever needed or wanted to. I also want to point out, guys, and this is actually pretty important, that these flares will not work with any trucks equipped with the technology package, more specifically the lane keeping system, as the flares themselves will interfere with the actual sensors. So just keep this in mind before pulling the trigger on these flares, or really any flares for that matter. Getting into the install here with the Bushwacker Flare Set, again, guys, no cutting, no drilling, no permanent modification needed, but there is a good amount of steps involved, so I'm still going to give it a strong 1 out of 3 wrenches on my difficulty meter and a few hours from start to finish in the garage or driveway. Now, before actually even touching your truck, you're going to want to make sure to install the edge trim on each flare here, along with the faux rivets or fake hardware before installing them onto your truck. With the fenders ready to rock and roll, guys, you're going to want to move over to the truck itself and remove the actual factory fender trim if equipped. With that out of the way, you can go ahead and remove the hardware locating or securing the fender liner, which is currently in place. With that removed, then go ahead and install the new hardware and clips needed to secure the Bushwacker fenders to your new F-150. As for my final thoughts, I really do enjoy the Bushwacker Max Coverage Pocket Flares, and here's why. If you plan on running a very aggressive wheel and tire combo with a super low offset, but you don't want to see a whole lot of poke, these things should help you out while adding a very aggressive stance at the same time. So be sure to check out the rest of the Bushwacker options for your new F-150 right here at AmericanMuscle.com.